All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Just Some Podcast. Today I have two of the guys from my group with me, Eric and Frank. Say what's up, guys.
Hey, what's up? How's it going, everyone?
Eric got that radio voice.
He does, yeah.
Oh my God, I'm hella jealous. He's like, what's up, guys? I'm over here sounding like I ain't went through puberty yet.
You're
Oh.
crazy, man.
Let's get started, man. I'm just gonna fire some questions just kind of off the top of my head. And we'll see where it goes. Let's start with Eric. Eric, how long have you been trading and what got you into it?
I have been trading since January of 2019. Seriously, I would say.
Hmm.
Just like you, I was interested in the markets ever since I was young, but obviously I didn't take action until I was a bit older. Um, yeah, I guess the initial motivation behind trading was I seen the whole lifestyle of the influencers online, but
Yeah,
throughout time, obviously I became actually passionate about it. So.
dope, dope. And Frank, what about you, man? How long have you been trading and what got you into it?
I've been training since I would say 2016. That's when I first came to America. For me, it's stuff that I saw on the internet, the lifestyle and all that.
Nice.
Seriously, started trading. I think I met you 2 years ago, maybe 2020, around when COVID was going on and all that, or a little bit before that. Um, yeah, so I started seriously there. That's when I, actually take it seriously. Seeing the stuff that you were talking about, and it kind of clicked. It's not everything that you see on the internet. It is what it is.
Oh yeah, a lot of these guys are full of it. Um, and the journey, right? It's not linear. It's twists, turns, curves, and man, things happen in your personal life. And I tell you, man, my personal life has been like an uproar the last ever since the start of the year, man. My personal life has been like going crazy with like family stuff and geez Louise. Eric, I know you've had you've had your struggles too. During your personal struggles that we won't mention, how were you able, or even were you able to keep focused on trading?
No, man, I wasn't. I'd say honestly, from the end of 2021 until maybe mid 2022, I rarely ever took a look at a chart. And that's not something I've ever even told you guys, in the group, even
Yeah.
though I stayed kind of active in the group. I didn't even look at charts. But I think it was a good period of time actually, because when I
Yeah.
came back, I had a completely different perspective.
So, and Frank, what about you, man? You are unique in a sense of you come from another country, you're grinding your way through the to where you're trying to get, man. Have you gone through anything that has either enhanced or taken away from your focus on the charts?
Oh yeah, absolutely. For me, I'm basically in the workforce. I gotta get up every day. I gotta go to work, and it's usually 12-hour, 13-hour shifts. So, it's hard coming home after a long day of work, trying to look at the charts, trying to take new information in, that you're teaching and actually applying, to my trading. So, that was always one of the worst things I could have gone through. I'm still going through it a little bit, but I'm learning about myself so that I can apply it to how I want to trade. Just like I was talking to Eric earlier, for me, I'm trying to focus more of like an end of day, more of going from monthly or to yearly kind of stuff, kind of trade. So I'm not going to be trading as much as a day trader would.
Nice. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like it fits your lifestyle, and that's fine. Eric, we'll go back to you. In this whole journey that is trading and trying to get to full-time trading, have you learned a lot about yourself personally?
Oh yeah, I've definitely learned a lot about myself, man, because trading is a very, very lonely game. So, but I think if you don't take the time to try and learn it by yourself, it's very easy to go without it. But I think you definitely need to learn it by yourself in order to develop yourself as a trader. And I think the majority of traders don't do that because it's a very painful thing. But you just have to bear through it.
100%, man. And if you can say one thing you've learned about yourself that's really taken you, because Eric, I remember our first Zoom meeting, and we came into the group. You've come a long way. What's one thing that you've learned about yourself that has helped you in your trading journey?
I've learned that I'm not as patient of a person as I initially thought, and that's okay. Um, so I just learned to adapt to different things in my life to better suit myself in that aspect.
Yeah. And what would you say makes you not as patient? Is it the grind to get to full-time trading, or the money, or both? Or something
I
totally left different?
I don't know. No, it's definitely not the money. I definitely do am very eager for, becoming a full-time trader. Even though I do like my career, but I think it's just I've always had a thing for instant gratification, right? I feel like
Yeah,
especially my generation with the introduction of technology, it's just something that's ingrained in us. So, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You just have to find ways to go through life it, in the way that best suits you.
100%. Frank, what about you? Is there one or two or multiple things that you've learned about yourself uh, that's helped you as a trader and even personally?
Uh, yeah, just like Eric, it's most of the patience. I'm finding out myself I don't really have the patience of not being away from the charts too long. Accompanied with that, like I said, I work like 12, 13 hours, so I am away from the charts for that long. So it's kind of like finding new ways to to compensate for me being away from the chart. So it's putting a plan together, knowing what the plan looks like and following that plan and making sure I know myself that I need to check myself and not going back to the charts back and forth, and moving away from the plan that I've put in place for myself.
Definitely, you are your own worst enemy. Um, I had a dope question, and then it just totally escaped my mind. Man, love it. That's what you got to look forward to at 40, man. Like, whoa. um, uh, what's been for you, Eric? What's been the toughest part? Is it no, let's backtrack. Have you bought a course from a scammer?
Um, I I am at the beginning of my journey, I purchased signals, so I would say so.
Ah, okay, okay. What about you, Frank? Have you fell victim to the Miami Beach lifestyle that's on Instagram?
Not necessarily the beach lifestyle, more there's more as wrong information.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of the people, they just repackage stuff that they see on YouTube and on all the crap trading courses, right? And who really who really wants to sit down and actually do the research and then tweak the research and apply the actual research? Um, Eric, you know my trading style. Would
Mhm.
you say that you trade exactly like me, similar to me, or different from me?
I used to try to really emulate the way that you traded,
Mhm.
but I feel like now, since I'd say the end of 2022, I've kind of dived into my own independent view of the market, obviously using a lot of the viewpoints and concepts that you've given us, the overall context, but
Mhm.
my trading definitely, you know, definitely changed for the better once I started to just go down my own path
For real.
and collect my own data.
Dope. And was that a function of that alone time, that break from the charts, or was it something recent?
Yeah, it sort of was. When I came back to the charts, I just said, I don't think I've been honest with myself.
Mm.
And once I started to become honest with myself and say, what do I see? How can I trade the markets in a way that, best coordinated with my psyche? That's when I started to, collect data and say, okay, I see this all the time. Let me see if I could build a system out of this. And that's when I just kept going and tweaking and just implementing new stuff based off just objectivity, no
Oh,
no subjectivity.
it's crazy because you're trading freaking the S&P, man. You got balls for that. I'm not there. I'm not there. If the trade isn't obvious as all outdoors, no, 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 not taking it. Frank, for you, would you say you trade exactly like me, similar to me, totally different? Now, you also have the one thing we had in common prior to the group is Mr. Chris Laurie. Would you say you trade similar to him as well? What's your take?
Yeah, so for me, I think I trade a lot differently from you and most other traders. For me, I think the biggest thing that I noticed about my trading was when I was back testing and I stopped using that rewind
Yeah.
function on. So that changed a lot for me and slowing down when I'm back testing. So it opened up my eyes to a lot of other possibilities and opportunities that I was seeing in the market when I slowed things down 100%. Um, my trading style per se, it's still developing, but I think one of the biggest issues I have right now, which is not really an issue, but I'm seeing maybe too much in the market.
Oh yeah. I I mean, you guys both know me. Like I know so much. And the Google Drive has so much stuff. I probably only use maybe 5% of it. I only use what I'm deeply connected with. Um, yeah, I totally get it, man. Information overload is real.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Eric, what would you say has been your greatest success as far as trading goes? Like what what gave you the aha moment?
Oh, I'd have to say honestly, man, just objectively collecting data in the backtester and not using like Frank said, like not using the rewind tool, going back, oh, you know what, I would have exited here, I would have done that, I would have done this. Just coming up with a defined set of rules and legitimately seeing how often does this occur and what is the probability and does it show a positive expectancy, and if it
Mhm.
does, I'll implement it or at least find a way to try and implement it.
Do you use data like that in your career?
Yeah, not my current direct career right now, but on the military side, I feel like yeah, it's just always reading and collecting information to try to make your own assessment
Mm,
out of it.
gotcha. Frank, what about you? I think we all have like little aha moments. Your big aha moment is usually just a collection of little oh, oh, then aha. Frank, have you had an aha moment that exposed you to be like, oh, you know what? This is actually my path.
Multiple times, and it can be, for me personally, I think it is a good thing and it can be a bad thing because your aha moments can be sometimes it's temporarily and you use that aha moment and you overuse it to go down the wrong path. So it might be an aha moment where you say that, oh, okay, this is work, but you have to put the work in on that aha moment and
Yeah.
use it towards, actually building a strategy. And it's one thing because I've had that in my actual job that I work. There are stuff that I have to look at seasonally in my job, and we use different techniques in my job role,
Hmm.
and it's the same. We use the same techniques over and over in the same seasons, but it changed slightly every year.
Got you. Eric, let me ask you this. We all got into trading, obviously for financial gain. was for you at any point in time, was your emotional connection to money and making money holding you back?
Yeah, I definitely say so. Your judgment becomes clouded by money, right? And that's not what trading's about. It's not about money, at least from the perspective of actual execution, right?
Yeah,
So it's just yeah, just focusing on the money, trying to trade a small account to a large sum of money. It's silly because you're only focused on that. You're not focused on what you need to really be doing.
for sure. No, agree. Frank, what about you? Has your emotional connection to money help or hurt you during your process?
Hurt mostly.
Oh shit.
Um, but it's a learning experience.
Yeah,
Um, especially when you're back testing and you had that the amount that you're making, the amount that you're losing, and you just focus on the strategy. It changes a lot when you take the money out of the equation and you're just focusing on the actual strategy.
yeah, for sure. I know for me, you guys have probably heard the episode. This was an older episode on Cam when it was 52 traders, where I told the story that I was literally yelling at a $20 bill because I was so emotionally connected to money.
Uh-huh.
Um, Eric, what did you do to put money to the side? I know for me, I since being a process thinker, I had to follow a process and not think about money. And I don't trade with my P&L open because I don't care about it. What have
Mhm.
you done to separate the emotions from money?
Just dive deeper in the charts, you know. I think the more you know about price and what you're doing, that separation, begins. And also, I know this kind of sounds counterintuitive because you're trying to trade to make money, but I think a huge aspect of having that disconnect of trading and money is making money outside of trading
Yeah,
in order so you're not stressed about it, right? So your judgment isn't clouded. And I know that's kind of controversial because it's like, well, what are we doing at the charts? It's to make money, Eric.
right.
So you know why? But it's true. I feel like once I had that side of my life kind of taken care of outside of trading, it made it easier to disconnect the emotions.
Got you. Frank, what about you? How have you put your emotional connection to money aside, or have you? And is it helping your mind be a little more clear at the charts?
Yes, based on how I started training, it was mostly about the money and it messed me up a lot. But for me, I usually don't look at my P&L and I make sure I know what my risk is and my target is whenever I'm trading.
Nice. Trading is difficult as all outdoors, and it takes a toll on you. And I know for me in the beginning, it took a toll on me as a parent, took a toll on me as a husband because I was taking so much time away from my kids, family get-togethers, and just everything that anyone wanted to do with me. And it's like, nah, I'm at these charts. I can't see you. Eric, how has trading affected your personal relationships?
Um, I'll be honest, I really don't think it has had a huge negative effect. I
Hmm.
mean, there's definitely times where I lock myself away and I do my work at the end of the day and it's like, "Oh, where's Eric? He got home from work and I don't see him." But I feel like it hasn't overall impacted me to the point where it's detrimental, right? But you definitely are gonna have to take time away from those things. I mean, you know it firsthand, right? Like you said, you gotta
Yeah,
take time away from events and family.
I went too far. I went way too far, man. Like I don't think I saw my in-laws and I'm one of those rare people who loves his in-laws.
Mhm.
My brothers for like 6 months. It was bad. Frank, has trading affected your personal relationships as far as like the time you spend away from people or just things you want to do in general?
Not exactly. I was always the type of guy that was, always at his computer.
Okay.
I was always productive, in the sense that, I'm always playing video games and all that, but I had to put some of that stuff on hold, for the longest time. So I remember, when, I used to get very frustrated, just being at the charts. I usually take time away to play some games, and I started to get a little bit more serious. And then there were months where no one would hear from me and stuff like that, but it wasn't anything out of the unusual, as
Yeah.
I said, because my
Yeah.
parents were always supportive of me doing whatever I'm doing at my computer, because I still had my job. I was doing what I was supposed to do in the household, so I was always really good at balancing my life in that sense.
That's dope. Eric, you got a unique one. You're in the military. Has being in the military helped you as far as like this process to get to being able to pull money out of the market?
I'd say yes and no. I think it definitely, in some aspects, has instilled that, that patience and that discipline that you need at the charts. And then I'd say no, like in the practical sense that there's times where it's taken me away from the charts. And
Uh,
so, but overall, yeah, I'd say there's definitely a lot of intrinsic characteristics it instilled that can translate to trading.
what would be one of them or two?
Patience and discipline.
Yeah.
You just having to stock the markets and accept the pain that, hey, I'm not going to take an entry today, or hey, I'm going to miss this entry because it's not 100% my setup. Just being able to deal with those type of things. I feel like there's some characteristics from the military that have helped with that.
So, Frank, you literally work with and manage people all day long. See, I don't see how you do it. I got a short fuse, man. I be cursing people out like you're freaking fire. I be throwing stuff at people. Have you has anything in your career helped you as a trader or any direct connection?
Absolutely. It's mostly being very direct, concise with what you're doing, being intentional. When I go to work every day, I have to already have a plan in action, what my team members are going to be doing, what I'm going to be doing. There's a specific time frame on when it needs to be done. But there are outside factors that also affect, stuff at work, which is the same with trading. I might have a call from a manager, my boss,
Hmm.
or you might send an email and say, hey, this needs to be changed, that needs to be done. So definitely there are things that, I've learned in real life with my job that, I've applied to my trading.
Nice. Dope. Um, Eric, I'm jealous of you because you live in SoCal, man. And I wish I was there right now, dude. Like you have
It's
no
been raining, man. It's
I
been
don't
raining like
care,
crazy.
man. Like I want to be down there in that SoCal sun. I will be out there in the rain, no shirt, just in my boxers playing in the water. But dude, you what if you made, I don't know, let's say $3 million,
Mhm.
would you still work your current day job or would you just exit out of the picture?
Um, it would depend in the period that I made that money,
Hmm.
If I knew, like, if I maintained consistency, then yeah, I would be fine stepping out eventually, but I wouldn't be in any rush to. And I've actually told some people that, and they're like, "Oh, you're crazy. I'd be out of here in a second." And it's like, well, what are you really here for in the first place then? Maybe you should be
Yeah,
somewhere else if that's your mentality. So,
exactly. Frank, what about you, man? If you made $3 million in trading right now, would you dump your career? Would you change your career? Would you disappear and we wouldn't hear from you anymore? What would you do?
Well, it's a very interesting question because, I've thought about it, and one of the things that I always say to myself is that if I'm a successful trader, what am I going to do after I turn successful? Like, what am I going to do with myself? So I don't think I would put my job away, um, or I would probably take a lesser position in my job, I would say,
Oh, wow.
in what I do. But if I can maintain, just like Eric said, if I can maintain my profitability, through my trading that made me that $3 million. And definitely I would probably take a lower job position and then continue doing what I'm doing. Because you don't want to be just sitting down there. Because if you're not learning in real life and through your trading, then what's the point really?
For sure. That's I can tell you that I think, and my wife would probably be better suited to answer this question. I think I went through like a mini depression, and I'm not naturally a depressed person. I'm a process thinker, and it was just because I was bored. I would trade, wait for my wife to get off work. We go to the gym. I I thought trading was my purpose, and it wasn't. And this is going to be interesting. I don't think I've ever said this before. Trading is actually counterproductive to who I am. I like this kind of stuff here. I like to talk to people. I like to be out and about doing things. I lost myself being a freaking full-time trader. And that's when I started to question all the stuff you see on social media and money bringing fulfillment and all this other stuff. But it also gave me the opportunity to mentor, right? And without mentoring, I don't meet any of you guys. And I mean, who would have thought I would start a podcast? What? Andre, a podcast? But I can tell you the boredom is maddening. I started playing basketball again. Then I hurt myself. I was like, you know what? I'm way too far removed from my athletic days to be out here trying to hoop. um, so let's say you hit your financial freedom number and you can do whatever the heck you wanted to do. Eric, what are you doing? Where are you going?
Man, I mean, I'd stick around SoCal,
Lucky
definitely.
bastard.
I would try to fill it out for like a year, see if I go crazy like like you said you did.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I I don't know what I would find myself being passionate about other
Yeah,
than trading right now because I've just been so consumed by it,
yeah,
that and that's just the honest truth. But I know something will come along.
for sure. Frank, what about you? You hit your freedom number. What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are you taking? What
I don't really have any big plans for when I hit my number. Um, it's it's mostly just being comfortable,
yeah,
just living, the way I want. If I do decide to move somewhere, I know I can move there. And I know that my responsibility is for my family, my siblings. I know that if something happens, I can take care of them wherever I want, wherever I am in the world. So I think that's just the biggest thing for me is just knowing that I have the financial freedom to take care of my family and myself.
definitely. Eric, you're the oldest of your siblings, right?
Yeah.
I know I'm the oldest of my brothers and sisters, and I've always felt this responsibility to look over them, take care of them, even though they can all take care of themselves. Would you say that it's different when you're the oldest because you bear a lot of the weight on your shoulders? How would you is that a driving force for you being the one, oh, I look up to big brother? Is that a driving force for you?
Oh, absolutely, man. I feel like that was something always instilled in me by my father as well. It's like, man, you gotta be the big man, you
Oh, yeah.
always I was always raised to be like, the try to be the caretaker,
Yeah.
and that's like
Or you're
my
Mexican too,
ultimate goal.
so like it's
Yeah,
like tenfold.
yeah. So that's always been the ultimate goal. Like
Yeah,
even in trading, like that's the number one thing I want to accomplish first and
for
foremost,
real. Seriously. I know when we were down financially, man, and this is why I say, like, I understand because you're Mexican, my wife's Mexican. When we were
Yeah, man.
down, dude, my wife strapped up and she carried me, right?
Yeah.
And man, like I don't know what I would do without her. Frank, are you the oldest of your siblings?
No, I'm actually the youngest.
Oh, you're the baby. Oh my goodness.
The funny thing about that though is that you know, because I'm coming from so far,
Yeah.
I would say people look up to me more because of where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, I remember you told me you got the promotion and you were going through it, and I was like, dude, this is dope. And you know, it also reminds me of my sister Michelle, my wife's sister. She's the baby of the family. She's only been in the States for maybe 4 years. Girl aced high school. COVID robbed her of her high school graduation. She was only here 1 year, straight A's in high school. Ran out college, getting dope grades. She got a brand new car. She's juggling work, school, exercise, and you know, my wife, they lost their dad over the summertime. And man, it's inspirational because I've never heard her make an excuse. I've never heard Michelle make an excuse. Tired, overwhelmed, this girl just keeps going forward, and I love that about her. And it's Frank, maybe coming from a different country. Oh, let's get controversial. What do you think about the majority of Americans? And say whatever you want. No, your face
Yeah.
ain't showing. You're good.
I want to know.
Uh, I mean, I'm not gonna say a majority of them, you know, are lazy, but
Yeah.
a lot of them are lazy. They don't want to put the work in.
Entitled. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Entitled.
yes. It is no sugarcoating it. It's the truth.
Yeah.
I do have to hire people. I do have to fire people, and I've been there.
Yeah. Eric, you coming from a military background and you see us civilians, what do you see as far as the herd goes?
Oh, man, I'm a part of the herd too, you know. I don't try to separate myself in
Yeah.
that aspect. I you know, I I'll be honest, I do see, a lot of my generation,
Mm.
the young 20 somethings. I look around, I'm like, man, you guys have no respect and discipline. So I think that's
Oh,
one thing that
yes.
I would say. Um, because sometimes it really annoys me. I find myself, being out in public, like thinking like a Karen for people my age, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
that's one thing. I'd say that's the only thing though.
Yeah. We went to get pizza last night, and you know how I dress, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm in hoop shorts, a t-shirt, and a Nike hoodie, and we're going to get pizza, and it's this little pop-up spot. It's at a bar, and the pizzas are good. They're mobile, and it's wood fired pizza. Dude, it's delicious. You ever
Mhm.
come up here, I'm gonna pay for your food this time. You can't tell me not to.
Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good, man.
The backstory to that is I met Eric in real life, coming up from San Diego, and he would not let me pay for his food, but I'm gonna get his ass next time.
I, I didn't. It's not like I didn't let you. It's I wasn't expecting you to. So I
You
just
pulled your
we
card
didn't
out
speak of
before the
we didn't
FC came.
we didn't speak about it. So I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna sit here and expect Dre to pay for my food. So I'll just tell him, separate the check. I'll be modest. And and
Uh,
yeah,
that sounds like
Okay,
a
they
first
didn't
date.
like that.
on the record, is Vovo the best pasta you've ever had?
Oh, hands down, best I've had. I mean, that's not much coming from, an American from Southern California, but best pasta I've
Yeah,
had.
man. Every time we go down SoCal, San Diego, we come up or we go down to LA. It's funny, the owner's like, "Oh, you're the guy from Sacramento. Your son broke the glasses last time I was here." I was like, "Yeah,
Oh,
my son did. He tipped the table over and literally glass
oh,
everywhere in the middle of the street in Santa Monica." I'm like, "Damn, man." And the owner was super cool. He got out there, he cleaned it up, and it was a jumble mess. But anyway, so we're getting pizza, and I'm looking around. You know what I see? I see a lot of unhappiness
mhm,
because there's a bunch of state workers, and you can just see it in their eyes. They're tired, they're drained, and they're covering that up with alcohol. And I'm looking around, I'm like, I kind of want a beer, right? I almost fell into the herd mentality. I like tequila, you know that. Like, I don't want beer.
yeah,
Give me some tequila.
me
But
too.
see, that's why I like you, man. We and I'm thinking, I'm looking around, is our system messed up, right? Is have we gotten so far away from who we are as people that we just do things that make us freaking unhappy? dude, trading doesn't make me happy. I thought it would. It just didn't. It's for me, it's my family, it's my kids, it's my wife, and even money, right? Being able to, dude, I don't even think I told anyone this story, but I remember I lost the house. And as we were losing this house, we were in Walmart and my daughter wanted some candy and I didn't have the money to get it for her. And I had to say, I'm sorry, we don't have enough money. Now, hindsight, I wouldn't have said that. I would have just said, oh, next time, right? But then that was the reality of, yo, I'm poor. Like,
Mhm.
yo, I'm super broke. I have to change. I have to do something different. But and also too, I didn't realize how unhappy I was. And at that point, yeah, I was actually I'm not never been an alcoholic, but we would drink every weekend, and it was just really to escape the pain of not having anything, right? So that's what I see. I see a lot of just general unhappiness and just disconnection. But yeah, let's switch gears here. Have you given yourself a timeline or a date to be a full-time trader or to hit a certain goal, Eric?
Yeah, to hit a certain goal, definitely. This year, I kind of shifted gears, and I'm like, okay, I'm seeing consistency. Let's go get funded. So
Nice.
that's what I'm gonna work on this year. But in terms of being a full-time trader, I wouldn't say I'm gonna put it's just not. I personally feel like it's not practical for me to put a
Mm,
a timeline on it, right?
mhm.
Life is life, and you just gotta go through. You gotta go. You gotta earn, like you said in the last episode. You gotta earn your stripes, right?
Yeah,
And I'm just gonna let that happen. But I definitely am gonna be turning it up this year. So
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Then I'll let you buy me Volvo next time.
yeah,
I ain't pulling my card
definitely.
out.
Nope.
Frank, what about you? Have you given yourself a timeline or have you set an expectation in your mind to hit a certain goal?
Yes. My timeline for being profitable is this year. Um, the expectations for me right now is literally just watching the charts.
Mm,
I've taken myself away from making unnecessary trades. I do have a strategy in place, which I am following currently,
I like
and
it.
it's literally just waiting now to see what happens.
Dope. Eric, I think there's value, like extreme value in making mistakes, and we're not immune to them.
Mhm.
Would okay, is it information or is it mistakes or is it both that helps you get to where you are right now?
I'd say both. When you make those mistakes, even the silly ones, it hurts, and sometimes you don't want to look at it, right? Like you're like, oh, I don't want to journal these trades, man. I already know what I did wrong. But looking at those mistakes, definitely, I think that's an aspect of adding information too. When you learn from your mistakes, you're gaining information. So I'd say it's both. Whatever you're learning from back testing or journaling, that information is good. And a lot of that comes from your mistakes. So I'd say both of them are equally as important into growth.
Sure, they make you. Frank, what about you? Do you think you found more value in information, mistakes, or both?
Mistakes, I would say.
Hmm.
It shows the flaws in a lot of what you do in terms of trading. Um, but you should not use it as a scapegoat to change how you trade.
For
Mhm.
sure. No, for sure. Outside of trading, have you found, like for me, I used to be super duper impatient, and my life outside of trading, reflected it. The more I've learned, the better I've gotten as a trader, the better I've gotten as a human, the better I'm getting as a father. I'm still not the most patient dad in the world because let me tell you, these kids, I went gray young, and I'm blaming my wife and kids. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, I'm
Have you
great too,
found?
man.
Hey, but you don't have kids, man. You're the
just
oldest.
just
I
you
get you. You're
wait.
the oldest. You're the oldest. Okay, I get you. Yeah, yeah. But man, you're not even 30 yet, are you?
No, I'm
Uh,
24.
uh,
Ah, man.
uh. That's the grunt. That's the
Youngin.
dad grunt. But have you found similarities between your personal life and trading, Eric?
Um, yeah, I definitely see some similarities.
Can you name
Um,
one?
I would like I said, I'd say the impatience.
Mhm.
But that's definitely something that I've developed, I kind of decided like you can't there's no concrete way to develop patience in your trading if you're an
Yeah,
impatient person in your personal life. You just have to sit down and you just have to do it, and that's kind of what people don't want to hear. They want to hear the secrets, but you just have to sit down and do it.
yeah.
I'm gonna be patient today. I'm only gonna trade my system. So yeah, definitely some similarities, and it's really weird because you have to disconnect them. um but yeah.
For sure. Frank, what about you? Have you noticed similarities between your personal life and trading and connected the dots?
Absolutely. I think it's what made me one of the better managers in our region right now, in my company.
Nice.
Um, it made me see a lot in terms of, if you wait long enough, you see a lot more than what you'd see if you jump on the issue too fast. Granted, there are some issues that you have to take care of easily, but I think that's one of the things with most managers in companies and stuff like that. They don't observe, and observation sometimes takes waiting. So it's just all about the wait. That's the game. You wait.
Understand. I remember one thing that I used to do, and Eric, I don't recommend you do this because you live in SoCal. I used to sit in traffic intentionally to build patience. Like legit, in
Oh,
Sacramento, traffic is bad, but dude, it's not like the 110. The 110, oh my God, coming back to NorCal,
mhm.
we were stuck in traffic for like 3 hours just to get to the Grapevine. It was horrible. But I used to sit in traffic. I said, it's about to be rush hour traffic. I'm just about to do it. I would literally go drive in traffic to nowhere just to work on my patience. So yeah, don't do that, Erica. You're in SoCal.
You're a
It's,
better man than me. That's insane.
I needed to crack the patience code, right? And
You did
you
it,
are
man. You did
you are
it.
the
It
code.
worked.
You made it.
Yeah, but it didn't work with being patient as a parent. Oh my goodness.
Mm.
That's a whole different game. Let's switch gears a little bit here. What is one thing you do, Eric, to disconnect from trading outside of trading that brings you balances you out?
Oh, just the normal stuff, man. Hang out with family, enjoy your hobbies, golf, you know, going out to drink, even though it's not the healthiest vice. It's fun in
Yeah,
moderation. Hanging out with friends, going to dinner, the normal stuff, and just forgetting about the charts, like
yeah,
not thinking about it, which is really hard when you have a group of people like our group who are just so obsessed with these charts. I mean, you see it every day,
yeah,
but it's something that you have to develop.
yeah, for sure. Frank, what about you? What do you do? I mean, shit, you work 13-hour days, man, but what do you do? What's your balancing factor in your life?
It's video games, man. I'll play like an hour of video games, get off, and then I'll be back at it. But
Nice.
I do have a very strict set of rules that I kind of use because I believe in health and fitness. For the longevity of your family. I believe you owe that to your family. So I
Yeah,
do take time to take care of myself. I do work out. So a little bit of that helps as well to take
yeah,
my self away from trading.
yeah, for sure. For me, it's exercise and martial arts. I like fighting. I don't mind getting hit either. I kind of like it, kind of weird.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's like who's like, yeah, go ahead, punch me. Like last night, I was sparring with the kids, and at 40, I let them tag team against me. And we'll go to 10. I beat them 10-3. And I'm 40.
Mhm.
Like they gonna do it again. But no, yeah, that's my thing. Exercise and martial arts. Oh man, this is good. I don't even want to end it. What is if you can give Eric, if you can give anyone one piece of advice to make it as a trader, what would it be?
Man, you have to sit down and look at the charts and see what you see, you know,
Yeah.
and determine what price behaviors you see and go and back test them objectively, collect data. How many times does this work? What days do I see this? What time of the day? You know, and once you can see that through data you've developed an edge, go forward test it on a demo account and
Yep.
see if you have consistency, right? And then
Mhm.
along with the psychology too, you need to have patience, you need to have discipline, and if you don't have it, you have to find a way to get it. You know, like
For
go
real.
out in traffic and sit there like Dre did. You
Yeah.
know, do what you got to do because it's not an easy task.
Yeah.
Um, and even if that's the only stint of patience you have throughout the entirety of the day when you're at the charts, do it if that's what you
Yep.
have to do, you know,
Exactly.
and then be impatient the rest of the day.
For sure, Frank. What would be your one piece of advice to anyone trying to make it? Like, what would it be?
Um, just have some patience, man, and review your losses. I think it'll change a lot for a lot of people who review their losses. And they'll probably see a lot of things that they could do differently, and things that they could not do differently. It just depends on how they trade, but it's just having patience, reviewing your losses, and taking notes. That's it.
Nice, Frank. What video games do you play?
For me, I'm more of a nerd.
I know
More
such thing as a nerd, man. Everybody has an interest.
Mhm.
most of them MMORPGs, role playing games.
Nice.
I do play a little bit of I do like a little car game sometimes. I'm not a fan of sports, not that type of guy.
Okay.
Although I did grow up in Jamaica, my thing was track and field. That's all I did. I never played football,
Nice.
never played basketball, never did all that. All I did was run. That's it.
I run for my demons. For how tall are you, Frank? Now I'm curious. You did track and field.
I'm not very tall. 5'8". Yeah.
Same. 5'8" on a good day.
Mm.
Everyone me too who I met, they're like, I thought you were taller. Like, nah, man, I sit on a little book on my chair to make it look like I'm taller. I'm 5'8" on a good day, man. Oh, Eric, what are your future goals, trading and personally?
um Trading, man, trying to buy a house right now. Just develop my relationships with my family, you know, become that caretaker that I've always wanted to be, like I said,
Yeah,
and just enjoy more free time, right? Like
for
try to
sure.
disconnect from the day to day and just relax and enjoy myself. That's really the main goal right there.
Nice. What do you do to connect to yourself? Are you like what do you do? What's your practice?
I like, I mean, I just talk to the people that are closest to me. I mean,
Nice.
you get all these ideas in your head throughout the day that you kind of overwhelm yourself with. And then when you sit down and you talk to the people that you're closest with, it really brings you back down. You know, you call your
Oh
friend
yeah.
after
Oh
work,
yeah.
you talk to your mom, you know, you're like, wow, you know, I really need to just relax here because things are okay.
Oh yeah, man. Your mom's dope, man. And you guys have had a hard couple of years, man. And I just commend you for being the person you are, man. Like, how do you step? You know, we all go through things, right? But for you to step up and do what you got to do, man, like, I really do believe that your parents did you good, man. They raised you right, you know, and this is coming from a 40-year-old fucking man here. Yeah, I was not supposed to
Mhm.
curse. I'm gonna have to have my guy bleep this out. But no, man,
Yeah,
like it's dope.
I really
Frank, what about
appreciate that.
no problem, man. Frank, what about you, man? I forgot
Uh,
the question.
What
What
do
was
you do to
what are your goals
Yeah,
moving
oh,
forward?
yeah.
My biggest goal right now is to pay off my mom's house. I wanted to live comfortable. I think that's my main goal right now. Rather than that, it's developing my career, moving forward, trading, and making it professionally. I think I want to prove myself to everyone, you know, that I can do it.
Do you think proving yourself to everyone, or would you rather prove yourself to yourself?
True, that's true. Um, I don't really have any. I don't really owe anyone
Uh-huh.
anything. I don't have to prove anything to anyone. But at the same time, there's a lot of people at work. And I want to rub it in their face that I have a choice. You don't have a choice.
Oh, I love it. So you're competitive. I like it. I like
Yeah,
it. I'm competitive and petty. I know. I I'm not gonna tell that story. I rubbed success in someone's face before, and I felt like absolute crap, man. And I had to apologize because when I get into the ego, oh, oh my God, it's bad. It's really, really bad. Like that video, and I'm pretty sure you guys know that video in the group that I posted on Christmas. That was bad.
Oh yeah.
That was bad. But I left it in there because I wanted to rub it in whoever's face that was, because it's like, call me out. Like, how dare you call me out? But again,
Mhm.
I left that video in there because I'm not perfect, man. I struggle just like everyone else, right? It is what it is what it is. And I know for me, outside of the charts, it's pretty similar to both of you guys, right? Like I try to only compete with myself, but there are a couple people, mainly a guy who quote unquote mentored me, not Chris Laurie, it's another guy. I hope he's watching this podcast and I hope he's seeing this. And I would flip the camera off in hopes that he's watching, but I don't want to offend anyone. But it would be the biggest F him in his face because he you guys have heard me told the story. He laughed at me. Like literally laughed
Oh,
at
is
me.
that right?
And instead of like being mad, I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna figure it out. And it took me 45 minutes. Like, screw you. And bringing it back to me, like my kids, when I would get really disconnected from reality, I would just go sit in the room with my kids and watch them play video games. I would even just like be that weird dad that would watch him sleep, like just hovering over him. My dad did that to me once. I was like, dude, you're a creep. What are you doing? And I was like 14 and I was like, Dad, this is weird, bro. Like, what are you doing? But
Now you understand.
I get it. I get it. I tell them all the time, like, okay, I get it. I get why you were emotional because now I'm emotional. My bad for being a teenager. Oh my goodness. No, this is good, you guys. Again, I want to thank you guys for coming on, man. It's definitely appreciated. It's a break from me just talking to myself and staring at a camera. Appreciate you
absolutely.
guys. And
Absolutely.
I
Thanks for
want
having
nothing
us.
more than to see you both make it, but make it in your own way, and I think that's what you're both doing. So I'm happy for you guys. Anything you guys want to say before we cut this episode? And I need to eat before I actually do lose my mind.
Nothing. Just what's up to the group. Keep grinding, guys.
Heck yeah,
Yeah,
man.
same here.
If your face is down in the dirt, wash that shit off. Get up and go. That's how you do it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. I'm gonna eat. It was good catching it because I haven't talked to either of you guys like on a Zoom in ages, man. And this is dope, man. This is dope because especially I started seeing Frank in the swing trades, Eric the madman, short-term trading, the S&P. Like, who does that? But all right,
I
guys.
lost it. All right.
Take care, guys, and we'll chat soon. All right.
All right.
All right,
Take
guys.
care.
Um,
Peace. Take care.